Dave Palumbo here for an update on RoidTest, the only true accurate testing kit for anabolic steroids. That's right. We talked about this several months ago when it first came out. We're going to talk about a little update right now. RoidTest is a product developed by Bill Llewellyn to test your anabolic steroids. In today's day in marketplace, everyone's buying underground steroids. You don't know what you're getting. You're spending a lot of money, and there was no way to determine if what you were buying was real. Now there is with RoidTest. I sell this exclusively at davepalumbo.com, and you buy these kits, and you could test your anabolic steroids, whether they be pills, powders, liquids, anything you got, you can test with this kit, and we'll tell you what you have, exactly what you have, what compounds are in there, and that's tremendous. Now it won't tell you how much of each compound is in there, but it tells you what's in there. If you think you have Anavar and you test for Anavar and it doesn't come up as Anavar, it's not Anavar. It's super sensitive testing. The reason why I'm doing this update video is that Bill Llewellyn came up with a more sensitive testing product now. There's a couple changes as to how we're going to use the different vials to determine the authenticity of the product. Now, the way it's set up, before it was just kind of, you bought a multi tester, you bought an Anavar tester and Winchell tester, or you bought an Anadrol tester. It's a little bit more specific now, and I'm going to show you how that goes. There's 4 vials we're going to be dealing with. The A vial, the B vial, the C vial, and the D vial. You can see them right here. Now, the D vial, okay, which routinely was used before to test Anadrol, is no longer that way. This is a new sensitized vial. The D vial now will test all injectables. It's the most sensitive for injectables. It's really sensitive for Trenbolone. The second you put Trenbolone in there, it will give you a positive reading on it. We always use this for injectables. And the C vial is used predominantly for orals, pills that you take. Very sensitive for that. Now, after you determine whether you use a C or a D, you'll determine if you want to use an A or B with it as a secondary confirmation test. It's important to do the confirmation test because if both tests come up positive, you know what you got is 100%, that you didn't make a mistake. And that's important to understand. Now, Johnny, put up the recommended testing list. I made Bill make up this little chart here to make it easier for you. If you look at it, for each compound up there, depending on what you're testing, the top part, okay, and then there's the powders on the bottom. The top part is the injectables and the pills. So if you look, for instance, at oral Turinabol, which is a pill, it's kind of like Dianabol, you'll see that one of the recommended tests is the C vial, because the C vial is the most accurate for pills. And then it says, as a secondary test, the B vial. Now, the interesting thing about B vials, anytime you use the B vial, as a third check, after you put your substance into the B vial and test it, you can shine the UV light on it. And a UV light will change the color in certain compounds. And we'll look at that chart in a second. So that's a third confirmation. So anytime you use the B vial, you can do the B, and then you shine the light on it, and you get a third confirmation. Now, this is what Johnny's got up on the screen now. That's the advanced field test. I advise that everyone buy this once, and then you can just buy refills after that. The advanced field test comes with the color chart in there. It comes with 4 testing vials. It comes with an A, B, C, and D vial, and it comes with the UV light and a nice little cute carrying case. It's hard to find these UV lights, and they're expensive, so this is kind of like a nice little add-on, and it says RoidTest on it. It looks kind of cool. You know, you feel like a scientist when you use this. So I tell everyone, buy the advanced field test first, and then you'll buy your refills after for testing each thing, because each vial only tests one compound. That's the thing that's important to remember. Now, after you've determined which vials you want, so for instance, if we wanted to test Trenbolone acetate, according to the chart that we had up there before, you would use a D vial and an A vial. We would take the D vial, we would test it. You can look at my other video. I'm not going to test any compounds here. We don't have any here present. You crack the vial open. You put a very small amount in, a very small amount of substrate. People are putting 3 cc's into these vials. If you put too much substrate in there, you flood out the test. It won't come out accurate. Put a very tiny drop in there. 1 drop, that's it. 1 little sliver of a pill, 1 little pinch of powder. That's all you got to do. Don't put too much or everything will look brown. I'm telling you, it doesn't work otherwise. Small amount of substrate, you kind of swirl a little bit, cap it, and it'll turn colors, okay? And you can match it up. It's that simple. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about these crystals that have been in some of these vials. These little beads or crystals that are put in there purposely to prevent splashing, okay? It keeps everything kind of uniform. So don't think there's anything wrong with the kit or that it's not working properly. And also, a lot of people, contact me and say, there's nothing in this thing. You tap the vial gently on the counter, and there's a very small amount of testing reagent in there. That's why you don't want to use a lot of the actual steroid. You don't need to. It's a very small chemical reaction you're doing. Don't overdo it, okay? But once you figure out what vials, Johnny, put up that chart one more time. Once you determine what kind of vial you should use, whether it be A, B, C, or D, then you pick your vials and then you test your compound. So once again, if you look at the color chart on the top part, you see trenbolone and anthate on the bottom. You see you're going to use a D vial and an A vial. So use the D vial first. That will give you confirmation. You'll be almost 99% sure at that point. You use the second vial, the A vial, and put the substance in the A vial. And if that comes up trenbolone, okay. Now, how do you know if it's coming up trenbolone? Put the color charts up on the screen, John. Now that's the new color chart. If you look in the D column at the end, if you're using an injectable and you're testing it, you'll see the color responses that will happen, purples, okay? Then if you check the A column, you'll see what the A column should say. The A column will give you different variations of color depending on what you're testing. If you're using the B vial, it'll give you the different colors that you should be looking for if you're using the B vial. And then you can see the third column says B UV light. That's once you've added the reagent to the B vial, you'll shine your UV light on there, and if it changes color, you'll see there's only about 4 compounds that should change color for. You can verify that as well. So here you have it. You got a very, very specific, and then obviously you got the C column too for the pills that will change color. You got a new, very specific, super sensitive Roid testing kit now available. When you go to DavePalumbo.com and you look on the website, you will get to decide, hey, do I want to order A, B, C, or D vials? Order the vial, and they come 2 in a pack. So if you look at these down here, each one of these has 2 Ds in it, 2 Cs, 2 Bs, 2 As. So you can test double. So I would buy, let's say I'm going to do Anadrol. I would do the Ds, okay? I would get the 2 Ds and I would get the 2 As, and I'd be able to test, trenbolone twice. I could test 2 different trenbolone. I could test trenbolone and anthate, trenbolone and acetate. I would have, because I have double. I have double the bottles in there. If I want to test, let's say, testosterone cypionate. According to the chart, I need a D and a B. So I buy the D and the B, and I'll be able to test twice. I'll be able to test 2 separate things. It's always good to have extra testing kits in case one breaks, you drop it, or in case, you want to test an extra compound. There's always something new you're buying. Don't run out of these things. They're cheap enough that you can have a couple extras in your house. Once again, I recommend that you buy the advanced field test first, and after you get the advanced field test, you buy these as the refills. The color charts come in there. I'll put the recommended chart too in with it. I have these. I made Bill make these for us. We'll put those in as well. It'll make your job super easy. And you know what? The bottom line is, when you're taking anabolic steroids, it's enough of stress having to take the shots or take the pills, but not knowing if what you're putting into your body is real can drive you nuts. And now with RoidTest, you can dispel all that. You can take away all that anxiety, and you can know that what you're spending your money on and what you're putting in your body is the real thing. So check it out at DavePalumbo.com. The new RoidTest, they're available now. Right when you see this video, everything will be up, the advanced field test. And I even have a special Anavar test kit that already has the C and the B vial in it. Remember, the C is the most accurate for pills. So if you don't want to have to buy them separately, I do sell the Anavars like this because a lot of women that's all they do is take Anavar, so they want to just buy this. It makes it nice and easy. But otherwise, it's much cheaper if you just go and buy the different vials dependent upon, what is recommended. Now, once again, you can look in this video, or I'll put the color chart also, the recommended up on the Dave Palumbo website so you guys can see it. and we'll make it super easy for you. Hope this helped clarify some things. If you have any questions, you can email me at huge285@aol.com. I'll be more than happy to tell you what compounds you should use, what testing kits, or answer any of your questions. Hope this clarified it. Great product, RoidTest. Check it out, DavePalumbo.com.